What is up, everybody? This is my Superman Lois Season 1, Episode 11 review. It's entitled A Brief Reminiscence Between Cataclysmic Events. And honestly, this episode was great. I enjoyed it. I thought it was going to deal with the Lex Luthor stuff, or no, the John Henry Irons stuff, where it cataclysmic events, like, thought it would show how his Earth got destroyed, but we need more of that, honestly. But I just want to say, if you follow these reviews, like, if you watch them every week, I won't cover episode 12. It's coming out on July 13th. I'll be on vacation then. So, yeah. But anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling and let's roll that intro. I just want to say it before we start this review. We're on the road to 200 subscribers, so if you would subscribe, it would really help out the channel, but I get it if you don't. But anyway, the episode starts off with Clark walking through the Antarctica, or whatever it is, and he drops basically the stone that came out of the pod that he was sent in, and it like cracks the ground and activates. It falls inside the ground, and yeah, it's just a bunch of, I guess this is when the fortress, it's when the fortress emerges and the ground cracks and breaks and everything. This is very similar, or it's a parallel to when later in the episode we see Morgan's fortress being created. But yeah, Clark eventually gets buried under all this rubble and basically takes a nap underneath the ice, where he wakes up and uses heat vision to get himself out of the ice. And yeah, he just looks, he finds the fortress, or there is, he gets the fortress now, and yeah, he puts the crystal he finds the crystal in there and puts it where it's supposed to be, and then Jor-El appears, and this Clark and Jor-El talk, and this is basically where Clark learns of his heritage, and where about Krypton, and how he is part of the House of El, and a bunch of other things. But yeah, throughout this, we have a montage of Clark and learn about how he gets his powers from the sun, and the school thing where it has, I forget the dude's name. I think it's Dylan. I know it starts with a K. I don't know what it is, but that actor runs, and as it pans around, it turns into Tyler Hoechlin running, and I'd say basically Clark was gone for like 9 years if you look at the timeline, because he arrived in 1973 based off Supergirl, and then he probably left when he was 18, so 1991, and he returned in the year 2000, basically, because Jonathan and Jordan are 14, so if you look at all this, it's just, yeah, Clark's really old. Not really old, but let's see, this is 2020. Clark is like 47 years old. Anyway, Jor-El and Clark talk, and Jor-El is basically like, you gotta find why you want to protect these people, why you gotta be here. And that is the mission. That's the name of the game and the mission. But back in Smallville, we have Martha Kent, and Martha basically is watering her plants, and then Clark comes back, and actually this is like a reunion after 9 years. It's a big thing, but yeah, Clark and his mom reunite, and I can't believe Clark was gone for a long time, didn't even look for his mom. He was with Jor-El for all that time. Wow. But yeah, he goes back in the house and puts the crystal back in the Kryptonian pod, and that looks different from Supergirl, man. But anyway, Clark is in his room and he sees a notebook, and in the notebook he opens it and he goes to where Lana Lane's picture would be. So it's a bunch of teenagers and a 50-year-old Lana in the picture, basically. They didn't even try to de-age her. But Clark walks down the street looking for Lana, and he sees Lana at the movies, and as when Clark calls Lana's name, it basically does nothing, because there's another person calling her name, which is more important to her right now, and that is Kyle Cushing, I think it would be. I think Lana would still be Lana Lane. I don't know. No, she would be Kyle Cushing at that. Lana Cushing by this point, but whatever. Clark sees them kiss, and Clark uses his vision, like zooms in, and he sees that Lana is wearing a wedding ring, showing that she has got married, and that this kind of breaks Clark's heart, and you can, because Martha does tell him, like, you can't expect this, you've been gone for a long time, people move on, and stuff, but Clark obviously never moved on from Lana, and I just want to say, Shaved Kyle is a menace to society. He just is. He's a menace to society. Shaved Kyle. It's just so wrong. But yeah. Martha and Clark talk, and just like I said, Martha's like, hey, you've been gone for a long time. People move on. But when you're gone, I had this dream. Not you as a boy, but you as a man, flying in the sky. So I made you this, and Martha basically gives Clark the Fleischer suit, or the first suit that he will ever have in the Arrowverse. And honestly, you know that suit that he originally had in Supergirl? I'm kind of confused where that fits into this timeline, because we know he had it on Earth Prime because of Chris on Infinite Earths Part 5. But yeah, Clark says that he needs an emblem on the chest, or Martha says that it needs him on the chest. But back to the OG suit, like, we see when Clark proposes, it's different from Earth 38, and he has the normal suit that he has in this. I don't know, it's confusing, but they use the John Deegan suit from Elseworlds when it's John Henry Irons Earth. It's just confusing, but Clark's looking for places in Metropolis, and he hears something with his hearing or whatever, so he runs into the alley and rips open his shirt. I literally screamed when this happened, man. I was so excited. It was like, yeah! Oh my god, I love when this happens. But there is a green car about to fall over after being in a car crash on this little kid. And you know who saves him? Superman. And Superman recreates the Superman #1, Detective Comics issue 1, or I don't know if it's 38. I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, it's Action Comics issue 38. He recreates it, and no, that's Batman that has like the 27. But he recreates the cover and talks to the kid, just as we saw in the pilot episode. And he's like, "Hey, thanks. My mom made this suit for me." And Clark flies off, and this was so cool. He goes into a booth and changes super fast, like, yeah. Just nobody saw that. I guess they were more paying attention to Superman, but this lady tells Clark all about the news, and it's like, hey, he was like a bird, a plane, and Clark asks who he is, and this lady just says, I don't know, it's just a flying dude. They don't say Superman because Lois Lane creates that name, but yeah. The lady says the planet's gonna have their hands full about this, so Clark looks up at the planet and figures out what he needs. Clark goes in for a job interview with Perry White, where we never really saw Perry White in the show before. I know he was in one of the episodes before, but this is our real first introduction to him. Clark is very much being Clark Kent here. I swear, after this episode, and when I was taking these screenshots from video I was watching, videos, in the clips, I just said to myself, Tyler Hoechlin is perfect as Superman. I've changed my mind. My favorite Superman was Brandon Routh. Because this episode, Tyler Hoechlin is my favorite Superman. And let's see if that sticks, but I don't know. Perry puts Clark with Lois Lane, and we have a meeting of Lois and Clark. And Clark, if you just see his face, he is stunned by Lois, absolutely stunned. And, is basically like, yeah, I need this person. And, Clark is so Clark here. He's like, hello, Miss Lane. Yeah. Lois is like, call me Lois. Like, what's your name? Clark Kent. It's like, I've never met a Clark before. Clark is like, oh, I've never met a Lois before. Actually, my first grade teacher, Lois Winnigan, I loved her. She was the one who taught me fractions. I don't even think I'm paraphrasing. How do I know that? But anyway, it's basically the scene from the pilot. And then this is where the scene differs from the pilot, and we see the extended version, where this dude gives, Lois a photo that, the dude says is taken by Jimmy Olsen. And if we're going by Supergirl rules again, the first photo of Superman, presumably after he saved that car, or, actually, in Supergirl, Jimmy says it was staged. The first photo of Superman that was on the newspaper that is clear and you can see him was taken by Jimmy Olsen. So, yeah. Jimmy Olsen will also be Mahad Brooks. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but yeah. Lois and Clark talk, and Lois says that this person is building minority-owned buildings and putting the Nazi symbol on it. Not like the swastika, but the the two lines. I shouldn't even say that. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but yeah. YouTube, please don't take down my video. It's just saying stuff, but yeah. Clark and Lois talk, and Lois and Clark is going to help Lois out on this mission to find out who's doing this and how to stop it. So, yeah. Clark and Lois look through a bunch of files, and it's just a montage of them working to, find out who is responsible. And also, I just want to say here, I'm sorry, man. This is 44 minutes long, this video. That's longer than the actual episode was. I'm just sorry. But anyway, go play like a game and put your headphones on while you listen to this. Or just, if you got here, at least like the video, man. Like it. But back to the thing, they just look through and interview, and it's just a montage, man. I don't know. You can see the pictures. You can describe it. They're very disappointed when they see Superman made the headline again, or Lois says, I think Clark would be like, yeah, I'm on the newspaper. But whatever. Clark, nice attention to detail. Like Perry White said, Clark is bringing in Perry's dry cleaning on Thursdays. But Lois says she found the guy, or one of the guys, or one of the suspects that she thinks might be responsible, and it's proven kind of wrong by a car that has the symbol on it again. So here we have Lois and Clark, basically their final talk, where it's just, I feel like this is where they fell in love with each other. Well, where Lois fell in love with Clark. She asks Clark if Clark says, I gotta go, and Lois is like, oh, you got a big date, and Clark's like, no, I'm just gonna go watch Steinfeld reruns. So you get a picture of when this is. So I'd say about like 2003, 2002. But I need frozen chicken nuggets, which me and Superman have some in common. If he does not eat the dino nuggies, Superman passes the vibe check, man. But yeah, it's just a great scene between these two. Elizabeth Tulloch and Tyler Hoechlin are honestly my favorite Lois and Clark. I feel like Erica Durant since Smallville did an amazing job. I've watched all of Smallville. That was my quarantine show from the OG quarantine, not like the later ones. But yeah. But my favorite Superman was Brandon Routh until this episode. And Clark is wondering where Lois is, so he asks this dude, and he looks on the whiteboard that they have. He goes through the walls and sees this dude. Let's see if I can read it. Henry Miller, who is basically Atom Man, and it's basically like the yeah, I think it's George Reeves, the George Reeves Superman movie, Superman vs. Atom Man, which I have not watched, and I plan to someday, but I haven't. And Clark and Perry's like, hey, Clark, this isn't like a track meet or whatever, because Clark's running to like go change, and he flies off. And Lois is trying to talk to the dude who's been burning down buildings, who is Henry Miller, or Atom Man from the comics. And we saw set photos of this. I thought this could be like Lex Luthor. And when is John Cryer going to appear in this show, man? He's in Vancouver shooting Supergirl. We know that. Or maybe, oh no, he hasn't been in any episodes past episode 3 of the season, but whatever. Superman saves Lois by blocking the fire. And this is just such a cool shot. If I did not use that in my thumbnail, then dislike the video. But, yeah. Lois is just really amazed, man. This show is also shot so beautifully, and the CGI is just amazing. It's just so beautiful, man. And, Clark uses his, freeze breath to, extinguish the fire and like break his weapons, but dude's like, oh, too bad, and he throws 2 grenades at both minority buildings or whatever, or no, 2 people. So Clark uses heat vision to disarm one and like just break it before it can blow up. And Clark's doing this so real fast, man. And Clark catches the bomb, and it explodes and knocking him into the building. Also, I just had a thought. If this is like 2001, 2000, Barry Allen would only be like 8 years old right now. Well, no, 11, because his mom was murdered in the year 2000, so this is a real flashback episode. But, Supergirl hasn't even landed on Earth yet. But anyway, Lois tased Atom Man, and Lois and Superman really have their first introduction. It's Superman, Clark, and Lois are all kind of different people, but they're all one and the same. Clark sees something off in the distance, someone flashing, like, no, that sounded horrible. A man in black, fizzling out of reality, which that's what Clark sees, and then Clark talks to Lois, and he's like, hi, nice to meet you, Miss Lane, which should have been a red flag, showing that, Clark is Superman, because Miss Lane, earlier in the episode, Miss Lane, Superman, yeah, but, Lois is like, what should we call you? What should we call you? And or Superman, he doesn't go by that right now, but he goes, whatever I think you'll come up with a perfect theme, Miss Lane. And this shop owner comes up behind Lois, and it's like, hey, what's he called? And Lois is like, Superman. Yes, man, he gets the name Superman, finally. But we have the Daily Planet, like, talk show. I didn't know this was a thing, but, we have Lois Lane. She's like, hello, today we have an interview with Superman. And this was honestly one of the best parts of the episode. You can tell this is like early 2000s. I think this is 2001. Yeah, I really do, because of the aspect ratio on the TV. And, yeah, it's just, Lois interviews Clark, or Superman, and Lois tries to figure out where Clark was born, or where his pod landed, and Clark's like, you can't, and just because I'm speaking English, you can't say I'm American. And he starts speaking, Cantonese, and, Lois is interested by this, and, she's like, wait, how many languages do you speak? And Clark's like, all of them. I just got interested, which I guess is what he spent 9 years doing before, just with Jor-El, talking in every language. And, yeah, it's just, I don't know why but it's just a great scene between these two, and I love Tyler Hoechlin and Elizabeth Hulock's, chemistry. I mean, she was only cast for Elseworlds, and I don't think she knew she was going to get a series, which is definitely getting a season 3. It's not even announced, but look at this. It's getting a season 3. It's just so good. I wouldn't be surprised, just because it's a CW show, if Superman Lois didn't get a season 5. But anyway, there's something wrong with Lois's mic, so she gets up and they end the interview, and Lois goes up to talk to one of the producers, or the producers talk to Lois, and the producer is like, hey, I think Superman likes you. I would kill for anybody to look at me like that. Lois is like, no. And it's kind of like the opposite of the Chris Reeves films here. Lois is, in the Chris Reeves films, Lois loved Superman, not Clark. But in Superman Lois loves Clark, not Superman. And it's just like a big thing, and I just think it's amazing. And Lois is like, no, I'm in love with someone else. And I'm in love with Clark from the planet. The guy with the glasses, he's so dorky, but I haven't even told him I loved him yet. I love him yet. And with this, Superman hears it because of his super hearing. And this is the bombshell where he finds out that Lois Lane likes me. Oh my god. Or whatever. But, yeah. The producer is like, hey, Superman doesn't happen to have super hearing, right? And, it's just like a funny moment where Lois is like, oh no. And I love this framing. It's just like awkward and great at the same time. And it just, yeah. Lois gets her microphone back on and she's like, hey, sorry that was so awkward. And Clark's like, oh, no, it's okay. I understand. Or whatever. He's a great, sorry, I just dropped what I was fidgeting with and hit my microphone. Wow. Clark's like, he's a lucky guy. And they, continue the interview, which we don't really see. And, yeah, I don't know, I have one more photo after this. But, just so you know, if I seem like I put the photos in before I even do the audio, because I find that easier than matching it with what I'm talking about. But, yeah, sorry this isn't out, like, at 3, or that it's late. It literally is 3 when I'm recording this. I woke up at, like, 1 p.m. I was up real late with the Flash review and, like, Loki and everything. But whatever. Clark brings, Lois home, and, Lois meets, Martha. And Martha loves Lois. Of course, who doesn't? It's Martha Kane. And Martha's like, hey, everybody's excited to meet you. And, Clark's like, Mom, you said you wouldn't. And because it's just such a small town, it's just, Martha says, oh, it's only the neighbors and the people from book club. And I don't know, it was just funny. And Lois plays along, is like, I'm excited to meet everyone too. Clark, cleans up the plates, the bowls after they ate lunch that Martha made, and Martha's like, hey, why did it, take you so long to bring her here? She's amazing. And Clark is like, I know, it's just I want to be ready to reveal the truth to her about my powers and everything. And, it's just, Martha's like, oh, Clark, that's great, and stuff. Yeah, it's just great. But, Lois is just so proud of Clark, and that he found someone that he finally feels comfortable sharing that with. And, yeah, it's just a great moment, and Lois walks in as they're hugging, and I don't know, I just enjoyed this moment so much, and it just felt so true, man. That's what I honestly loved about it. And yeah, Lois asks if everything is okay. They're like, yeah. And Clark's like, hey, Lois, you come with me. And this is where just all this episode is the best part of the episode. I can't even say this is where the best part of the episode is. I didn't even say that during the flash review, because every part of that was awful. If you want to hear my flash review that I posted earlier today, subscribe, go to videos, or I'll just link it down below, who knows. But Clark reveals his powers and that he's Superman to Lois, like we saw in the pilot, and we see in the Daily Planet that they both go in the elevator, and in the elevator they do some smooching, and they kiss. And here's where the little continuity issue all the way from the pilot. Clark has the suit that he's been wearing all throughout Superman Lois when he proposes to Lois. I like the Elseworlds version. I think it's more creative, where he like crushed the rock and put it into the rain, the diamond, and everything. I think that was more creative, but this is also great. So Clark and Lois get engaged, and it just looks beautiful, man. I love the fortress. Knowing, if you've seen the behind the scenes, his cape, the fortress is all CGI. But yeah, they fly above the clouds, and we have Clark and Lois getting married. Lois throws the bouquet, and on the back of Clark's truck, it has the just married sign. I don't know, it's just so eventful, and it's a great montage, and we have our honeymoon, and Clark and Lois talk, and Clark's like, wow, I'm engaged to Lois Lane, whatever. Clark plays with Lois's ring through the whole time that they talk, and I don't know how they did it, but Tyler Hoechlin actually seems younger this episode than he did the last ones. Yeah. It's the Kryptonian genes, man. But yeah, they looks like they conceive Jordan Jonathan now, and yeah, Clark. This is weird. Clark goes to talk to Jor-El, and Jor-El fritzes out and says, "Kal-El, leave! Get out of this place! Run!" And then, before Clark can do anything, he just wakes up and sits up, and yeah, right here he says, "Lois, what day is it?" And Lois doesn't even answer. She's like, Clark, I'm pregnant. There are 3 pregnancy tests out in the bathroom, and I aced every single one of them. And they talk, and originally I was like, oh no, because I remember the miscarriage. This was just gonna be so difficult for Lois, but no, this is the one that happened like 18 months after Jonathan Jordan was born, so I'd say about 2008 that miscarriage happened. But yeah, Clark and Lois talk, and people did like a study, I think, that said when also Superman busted through the condom, man. That must have, like, the glue must have came out so fast that, like, bursted through the condom, man. Like, that's big dick energy, man. But, damn, gotta be named Clark to Johnny Sins. But no, I'm just kidding. Sorry if you heard that. I can't control background noise. I'm sitting in front of a window, but that has a TV below. But whatever. They find out that they have twins here, and Clark is like, hey, is that a, you know what, because I can't say penis on, TV 14 shows, but I don't know, they could have just said that. It's not like, I don't know, but yeah, Lois is like, this is what I get for wanting a girl, and, yeah, Lois talks to Clark, and, Lois is like, hey, Jor-El didn't tell me that we were having 2 babies, and, she's just mainly angry at Clark and Jor-El, and also she's like, Clark, you can't, I'm gonna push 2 babies out of me. You're not giving birth to 2 babies. Clark's like, hey, it's okay. We'll just go to the fortress or whatever. And Clark sees the same man in black vanish. And, like, he's looking at Clark, so he steps outside, and before Clark leaves, Lois yells, Clark, I'm not having the babies in the fortress. And, you see the reflection in the glass of the door, and Clark, he gets out of the room. He's like, no, it can't be. And Morgan Edge is outside the room. And this is where I realized it was all fake. The whole reality and everything before, and then Morgan Edge switches it all up, and it changes. This is where I realized it was all fake, and this is just, if I had to pick one great moment, this would be the great moment of the episode. Right here. Not right here, but, when Lois is giving birth, and she gives birth, and, this was just such a tense scene, and, not Lois giving birth, but, that's a bad fat suit, by the way, trying to make Lois seem pregnant, which, I think it was like, it's bad, but anyway, this was the best scene in the episode if I had to pick one. Morgan Edge stands in front of Jonathan and Jordan, and Clark says, no, don't hurt the babies, and, Morgan Edge is like, hey, Kal-El, I would never hurt a child, or an infant. Now, teenage boys, that's a different thing. And that gave me chills when it happened, and I knew stuff was about to go down, and Clark wakes up after that, and he's freed from whatever Morgan Edge put him in. And Morgan Edge says that is technology by a Kryptonian scientist, one of the best ones, and, yeah, this scene was just great. You can't see him. I did the like hands and like lips and thing. It's weird. It's probably weird by audio, but I don't know. Clark and Morgan Edge argue, and Jor-El butts in once, and yeah, it's just a big thing. And Morgan Edge is like, I came to you as a brother. I came to you as a Kryptonian. I came to you as your friend. Now I'm coming to you as the enemy. And now I'm gonna hurt the people that you love now. And Morgan Edge is honestly just annoyed by Jor-El. So, he goes up and grabs the, yeah, he just gets mad at Jor-El, so he destroys the crystal. And, Jor-El kind of fades to exist. I'm sorry if that was weird. I took a little break from talking. I talked for 30 minutes. And my voice got a little But, yeah. Then Superman and Morgan Edge fight, and it's just a big, problem. And, they kind of destroy the fortress, and, Clark is left by Morgan Edge on the ground, kind of beaten up, to presumably die, but not to actually die, because Morgan Edge would probably save him. But then, Lois is talking to Kyle and Lana after, this all happens, and, yeah, they just have a talk, and then, we have the kids talking. Sarah Jordan, Jonathan, and Sarah, they all talk. I said Sarah 2 times, didn't I? But yeah, Sarah's just thankful that they actually told her the truth instead of lying to her. And that's just basically what she wanted to say. She's like, I know my dad isn't the greatest, but that wasn't him out there. I knew that. And I just wanted to thank you guys for telling me the truth. And it's like a war zone out there now with all the DOD agents. And she asks to be alone with Jordan. So Jonathan leaves, and Jordan kind of tries to like talk to her and is like, oh hey, yeah, sorry, you're welcome. He's kind of confused, and yeah, he just tries to talk his way out of it, and like he doesn't know what's gonna happen, so he's just like, oh, what did I mess up about? And no, Jordan and Sarah finally kiss, and they're finally a couple now. Like, I've been waiting for this for so long. Not so long, I mean, it could have happened as early as episode 8, but it's just been a ride, man, and I'm glad that we're here, and it's just been a good ride, man. But yeah, Lois and the boys leave now, and Lois and Kyle talk, and right there, I didn't have a picture from Kyle of modern day. The shaveless, beardless Kyle is a menace to society, but Kyle just says, like, thank you. But then the boys and Lois get out of the car and they get home, and Lois is like, hey, now that you have a girlfriend, we're gonna have to talk to you about that and everything. And they hear the sonic boom, so they think that Superman's coming. But no, Morgan Edge arrives, and Morgan Edge everybody isn't happy, and Morgan Edge is like, hey, that's not how you talk to family. Uncle Morgan is here. And they're just like, no. And they're just terrified. I know Jonathan Kane doesn't have any powers, but he was ready to fight. I mean, look at him. And like, they ask about what happened to Superman, and Morgan says, I left him on the ground in the fortress, knocked out, gone. And Jordan's mad about it. He stands up and yells, go away! And blasts. He like shoots his heat vision at Morgan, and before it can hit Morgan, though, Morgan blasts his heat vision at Jordan, blasting Jordan back. And it was just like a whoa! I didn't believe that would even happen, man. That was so cool. It just blew my mind. And now, because Morgan's angry, he talks and he's like, you know, I won't let the boys live for long, but I'll let them live long enough to see their mother get killed. And yeah, it was just so crazy, and it was just so crazy. Lois is like, no, and Morgan opens his heat vision, where he starts his heat vision like you would have to, and Clark arrives right before Morgan kills Lois and saves him. And saves her. So yeah, I think it would have been cooler if Clark flew down and punched Morgan into the ground, into the ground before he could do anything. But Clark is basically powerless now, so Morgan is like, do you submit, and your family will be spared? Do you submit, or do you continue this? And Clark submits. He goes, I submit. He turns to his family and says, I'm sorry, but this is for the greater good. You guys need more time. And him and Morgan Edge fly away, leaving his family just there to watch and think in horror about all the things that are going to start happening now, just as John and Henry Irons predicted and talked about. But here, we are brought to Morgan Edge's fortress, which is basically where Clark was at the end of episode 9. So, Morgan brings him to his fortress and basically tells him, you chose the desert. You chose the Antarctic. I chose the desert. I like to feel the sun on my face. Or that's what he told Lois earlier. So, we have flashbacks to young Morgan Edge again, and they say it's in the year 1987. He says it to his father later, but Morgan Edge creates his own fortress, and yeah, the ground breaks and everything, and it's just basically a parallel to what young Clark did in the beginning of the episode, creating his own fortress, and Morgan puts his own crystal in. I don't know how he got the crystal from the pod. Maybe the government in the British metal letters. No, the British government took the pod and he raided it for the crystal. But his father there, Zanro, I think it is, or something. I know it has a Z. Is there, and this dude, this isn't a healthy relationship at all. I can tell that Morgan doesn't like his father already, and he's just there to please him. And yeah, I don't know why Laura would like this dude. I mean, we haven't seen Laura, but I don't know. I'm also not convinced that Clark is the son of Jor-El, by genetics or anything, because that Jor-El dude that plays Jor-El doesn't look, well, anyway, never mind. I was gonna say Marlon Brando, Chris Reeve's father, but I'd actually believe that. But anyway, yeah, they talk, and Salro, I think that's his name, is like, hey, you gotta pass this, pain test. So, this red beam gets shot on young Morgan Edge, just making me think about all the times he basically got tortured and what he was just trained to do, to take down Superman and destroy the world or whatever. But the Kent family come home, they walk, throughout the house. Lois goes straight to the phone, and, yeah, this is just crazy, and Lois goes straight to the phone, picks it up, and she, calls someone named John. It's John Henry Irons. I thought it could be John Diggle, but she says, John, it's happening just as you predicted, just as you said. So we have John Henry Irons back in the next episode, so he took a little break for these great Morgan Edge episodes we've been having, and next episode, John Diggle and John Henry Irons would be back, and that's why I'm so sad I won't be able to cover that episode. Man, I'll probably watch it, but I won't be able to cover it. But anyway, Kal-El, or Clark, or Superman, is brought to Tommarrow, and they put in the little thing that Morgan Edge stole, that had all the Kryptonian souls back in his own fortress, and Clark gets used to the red beam, and the pain beam or whatever, and it looks very, I don't know if this is all the Kryptonian souls going into Clark. I don't know about that, but yeah, I'm just excited to see where next episode goes, because now Clark Kent, or Superman, has been activated and now works with Morgan Edge, which this is just whoa! It's just a great big bombshell of an episode, and yeah, I'm just, wow, this episode was so good. It's just 10 out of 10. That's what I've been seeing for everybody that watched. Oh my god, I can't wait until the people who are like, oh, this is a CW show, boo, watch this, because man, just because it's a CW show doesn't mean it's gonna be bad. And anyway, I just really enjoyed this episode, and I hope you enjoyed my review. If you're still here, comment down below. I don't know, paper, yeah, and I'll heart your comment or whatever. But if you enjoyed this video, please give the video a like, go down in the description, follow all socials, please subscribe, we're on the road to 200 subscribers, and that's basically all I have to say. Goodbye, stay safe, and goodbye.